So, the project with heather, how to turn heather into a 15-inch stake, about the size of this, which is an apple stake on the go. But heather only ever comes in tiny, thin, twisty branches. So it requires special techniques of, I'll show you how I do it. First of all, with a good pair of secateurs, I've snipped all of the heather into workable shapes. These are the main long bits, and there's small bits and smaller bits. So that's what I've got to work with. Now, the heather stake is to be 15 inches long, which is the same as this apple stake that I'm doing. And none of the pieces are 15 inches long. None of them are really straight. So heather is always very thin and very bendy, very serpentine really. It's got a snake energy, very, very wiggly woo. That's its nature though, so kind of twine the pieces together and glue them. But I will use these big pieces to make the basic shape of a stake, and then I use all the smaller pieces to fill the gaps. So I've got enough here for the stake and I've got a small pile here which is to make a playing piece for my gwithbuil set, which is over here. Each one is made from a different wood. So I need a piece made of heather. So there's two projects here, a heather stake and a heather playing piece, which I think is going to be a field mouse. We'll see. Well, it's been a few days and I finished the apple stake that I was working on. It's got very nice bark. So the heather is a slow process, gluing pieces together, and I use masking tape to hold the pieces together as the glue sets. But slowly building up pieces together. It's a long process, but it's only, 5-10 minutes a day. That's all it is. 5 minutes, and then leave it for 24 hours for the glue to dry. Meanwhile, get on with other things. So it's like a garden, grows slowly bit by bit. So I'm using a well-known brand of wood glue. I won't say which brand it is, but the writing on the bottle, trying to film it without getting the brand name. There you go. It says wood adhesive, stronger than the wood itself. It's some sort of, I guess it's PVA based, but it's also got some sort of resin in it. Doesn't smell. Takes about 24 hours to dry. So I glue a bit and then leave it till the following day before I glue another bit. Gradually building up the pieces that I want. So yeah, nothing special, standard wood glue, well-known brand, green and red. Getting there slowly. Patience, patience, patience. It's been a number of weeks now, quite a long time actually, and I've kept adding a bit pieces to the heather stave, and it's nearly ready. I've only done like 5 minutes here and there. This piece is going to be one of my Gwithwill pieces, but here's the stave. Now the reason I'm showing it this stage is there are some holes still here and there, so it's solid. It's you can see all the pieces of heather are glued together, but there are holes and crevices, and so what I'm going to do to finish it is I'll make my own wood filler with the sawdust and wood glue. I'll mix the wood glue into the sawdust and turn it into a paste, and I'll use that to fill all the cracks and holes, and then it'll be ready for a final sanding. But there you go, homemade wood filler to fill the gaps. So whilst this piece is now finished, it's a solid piece of many bits of heather. It's like marble. The wood filler worked, homemade wood filler. Now for decorating. So the handle of the stave, I have put a thin layer of whitewash on top. And the reason I've done that is it allows me to draw in pencil the design that I'm going to paint on the handle, and then I can rub with sandpaper the whitewash away from the bits that I'm going to paint. But the thin layer of whitewash allows me to draw with the pencil. That's the main thing. Can't really draw in pencil on that. It's too difficult to see the markings. So yes, stage one of painting the decorative design. So here we are, the finished product. Heather is in the Ogham. It's the vowel U, and I've decorated it with heather. I've used the swirling grain of the pieces to make the shape of the heather, which is quite serpentine anyway. But that's the whole stake finished. Embroidery silks make a nice decorative tie. It's like marble, came out really nice. As for the small piece with which I'm going to make a playing piece for Gwithwill, I'll do that at some later date, but it's ready to carve, but I've got other projects to get on with. But yeah, there you go. There's heather, a solid piece, 15 inches long. It can be done just takes a very long time.